Welcome to Phonogenics 101, a Riotboy production hosted by Jeremy Gloff. The podcast where people who love music discuss albums track by track. Please hit subscribe, and if you'd like to support this podcast, patreon.com/Jeremy Gloff or Venmo @Jeremy Gloff. And now, on to the music. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Phonogenics 101. My name is Jeremy Gloff. I am your host from Tampa, Florida, and I'm here with the Blondie, Debbie, Harry family. It's a little bittersweet tonight because the series is coming to a conclusion until the next Blondie album. But we will be back for special occasions and new releases. But it all started with the debut Blondie album. Barry, you've been on all the podcasts, haven't you? Except Plastic Letters, I think. Oh, he might not be able to hear me. I know his internet's choppy. But it was interesting, the trajectory of this podcast, because Blondie had a few people on it. Plastic Letters, I think, was just me and my friend Daniel Cartier. And then with Parallel Lines, like, the full band came. It was just like Blondie, like, that's the one where it blew up. And then how many of you joined with the Parallel Lines one? Yeah. Yeah, and then we've been together. And then we have some great... Scott and David joined, so I don't know. Did we lose anybody along the way? Probably. I'm so tired. But anyway, the band is still together, and tonight we're going to talk about Debbie Harry, the Stray tracks. Our Blondie and Debbie aficionados here have put together a list of the Debbie Stray tracks. First of all, if you like this podcast, hit subscribe. Thanks to the Patreon subscribers, and I finally got the podcast monetized, and I made 60 cents the first week. So when I get that supersized French fry, I will thank my subscribers. All right. Well, does anybody want to say anything about this podcast series or anything before we go into this list, or just want to say hi? The floor is open for whatever you want to say.
Happy birthday, Debbie.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Scott, thank you.
Happy birthday, Debbie.
Happy birthday, Debbie.
It's Debbie's 80th birthday today, and that's the reason why we met. And I suck as a host because I should have led with that. But anyway, fucking 80 years old, Debbie Harry, icon, legend. Hopefully, many more years to come.
She's still rocking. She may be 80, but she uses email, and I'm going to read an email from her at the end of the show.
Yep, you got an email today, right? Hot off the press.
Yeah, I wrote her in the middle of the night. It was still dark, and she wrote at 8:21 in the morning.
Wonderful. Well, that's going to be a perfect conclusion. Anybody else have anything they want to add before we jump into this adventure?
Well, just thank you, Jeremy, for putting this together. It's been very enjoyable.
It has, man. I love these. It's been so great getting to know you guys, and I hope one day we are all sitting in a concert all in the same row and like at the show together, listening to what song? What's everyone's wish list for the song you'd love to hear live right now?
Angels on the Balcony.
Angels on the Balcony?
Yes.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That is a great one.
Yeah. Fan mail, and I didn't have the nerve to say no.
Wow.
I'll second that.
Plastic Letters.
Walk Like Me.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Accidents never happen.
Walking on Imported Air.
In the sun.
Oh, I feel like this is uncool, but I'd love to hear Mother live right now.
Yeah.
No, Mother's a good song.
Yeah. Because, like, the thing about Blondie and Debbie is, like, they made songs that spoke to my youth, but they also made songs that continued to speak through my adulthood and aging that I could relate to in every time of my life. And, supposedly, is the new Blondie album done? We're just waiting to see what happens with it, or does anybody know?
The last I heard, it was supposed to come out in the third quarter, but I haven't heard an update after Clem's death.
Yeah.
So I'm not certain, but I believe it is done.
Okay. Well, I cannot wait till we are all on the screen together talking about this new music. I mean, that's going to be a day to remember. All right. Well, we have a list of how many, like 40 songs here we have to get through. Debbie, Deborah, Harry, the Stray tracks. All right. Well, let's just start. I'm going to now I don't know a lot of these, but I am just going to trust the panel. We're going to start with Little GTO, New York Blonde 7-inch, 1978. Who wants to talk about this?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I remember, I remember seeing the single with her face patched out, when it was first released. And I was like, why is that? Why is that Debbie Harry? That's not Blondie. And I never picked it up, and I wish I had, although by now my sleeve would probably be shattered or, all ripped. But yeah, I thought and I just read today that I thought it was her and Rodney Bingenheimer, but I read today that it was probably all of Blondie doing like that song. So
they were listed as the New York Blondes because of issues with the record company when they recorded the song, so they couldn't release it as Blondie, so they released it as New York Blondes instead.
Wasn't it supposed to be Rodney singing and she just did like a scratch vocal or something, and then they released it with her scratch vocal, which was not supposed to be like a final vocal? That's what I read somewhere.
I read that as well. I've heard that story.
It's almost like they bootlegged their own material because they were stuck with a record company contract.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to look that one up. Any other thoughts on this one?
I think it's a fun little cover.
Fun little cover.
Yeah.
All right, so then we move to 1980, The Muppet Show, The Rainbow Connection. So, that's how you knew that Debbie had just permeated pop cultures. When you're singing with Kermit the Frog, I mean, that's a big deal. I remember it from when I was a kid. I remember playing it. It was, super cool. What do you guys remember about this one?
Yeah, The Muppet Show. It was an amazing, iconic moment. And I think for a lot of people at the time, a lot of serious music fans didn't quite kind of scoffed at it because it was the Muppet Show and it was very commercial and whatnot. But that's what I love about Debbie. She doesn't give a shit, about what everybody else thinks. And I believe she saw a musician that she admired on the Muppet Show, and she said, if that person can do it, I can do it as well. So I love her for that. What I think was great was that 30 years on or 35 years on or whatever, this song has like kind of come back up again, and it's just become, and she occasionally will sing it, at benefits and stuff. And it just has this, like so many people are just so enamored of this song and this version of it. So I love it. I just thought it was very sweet. And it was one of the first times you got to hear Debbie sing something kind of sweet, and she sang it in that higher register. And I just
it's almost like her Wind in the Willows voice again.
Yes, very
like
much.
this virginal chorus alto soprano, and a sweetness. It's kind of like Debbie minus all the irony, which we're not used to in that era.
Right.
I mean, since then she's stripped away a lot of irony, but for that time that was pretty stripped down. And I think people respond to the sweetness of it.
Well, don't get me started on the Muppet Show. I'm a huge fan of the Muppet Show. I just love the Muppet Show. And I love that song when she did it. What was crazy is it took me so long to be able to get to actually see that show, because every time that it would come up, so there's 120 Muppet shows, and they would almost always run them in order in syndication. So the first time that it was on, and many of the subsequent reruns, there was always something that preempted the show, and they would then skip that episode.
Oh,
and
no.
It would go and then run the whole other series again. So the first time that I actually saw it, I was either in grad school or I had just graduated college, and I was watching on a satellite TV through a staticky thing in the middle of nowhere, visiting relatives in Northwest Pennsylvania. And I finally got to see that. And of course, eventually then I finally did get a copy of it. But I just loved that song. I loved the whole show. And they had in the Muppet band, they looked like the Blondie band members. And I love how Kermit, when he, at the beginning of the show, that he came on and he comes up to the thing and he his mouth, and he goes, "Ah, it's Debbie Harry!" Ah,
Aw.
yells at her, and I thought that the whole show was really well written, and I thought that Debbie was absolutely, totally, stunningly beautiful in that song.
Yes.
On the whole show too, and she was funny. At the beginning, that she comes up to the old guy Statler and Waldorf, and they were heckling her, and there was a doorman at the doorman was right at the beginning of the show, and he goes, who are you? And she goes, Debbie Harry, and they go, who? And then she goes, I'm from Blondie, and eventually they're like, that's a dumb name for the band. If I were you, I would have called it something different. And she goes, if I were you, I would have called it Baldy. And the whole show was just great. And I just loved that whole series. And I even have a stuffed Kermit.
Aw. All right. Any other thoughts?
Oh, sorry.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, David.
Barry, I have a question. Do you know, did she sing Rainbow Connection live on set at the taping, or was that?
I think so. I
That's
believe
pretty amazing.
she did. And also, it's interesting that there's a coffee table book about the Muppet Show that Henson Associates sent me when I offered to write a book about the Muppet Show and give them the whole thing, free of charge, if they would help me with some of the information. And they sent me this book. So there's actually like a 2-page spread on just that episode that Debbie Harry was in. And they were talking about how crazy it was to do that Pigs in Space, where the meteor busts through the ship and Miss Piggy closed the hole with the captain's snout. They stuck, I think, or maybe it was Miss Piggy's snout that went and clogged the hole, but they had these fans with all this dust that was going like crazy. And anyway, if anybody wants to see that, it's a very, very rare book. And I can send you a photo of the article so you can read it. It really was great.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Any other thoughts? All right. We are moving to 1981. Little Metal Drummer from Jimmy Destri's solo album, I presume.
Little drama, little metal drama. Isn't
Very
that the
spaghetti
extent of her
western.
contribution?
That's it.
All right. Do
Remember-
we like this song? Thumbs up or thumbs down from the panel? Those that are
Oh,
familiar.
no, it's a good song. Rumor has
Yeah.
that that's going to be in the new Blondie album.
Okay.
They re-recorded. So
That's
Oh,
pretty cool.
is that the song? Is that the rumored song?
yeah,
I knew there was a
Oh.
song from his album. I just cool.
I wish there were more lyrics.
Right. I wish
Yeah,
there were
might
lyrics.
be, there might be, Debbie.
I'm in the middle of them.
So
That's right. Okay, I can try to wait a second.
All right. Well, any other thoughts on Little Metal Drummer?
She sang for a couple of tracks on that album, didn't she? Like backgrounds. I think there's another one where she's going to make you cry, 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 all
You're right.
alone.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
there's a couple that she sings on.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I have the Jimmy Destri album.
yeah, I'm looking it up right now. See if I can figure out which song that is.
I think it's the first one on the album.
It is.
I just can't
It
remember
is.
the title of it, but I think it's.
Got a
I think it's the first track.
Yeah, it's got a great beat to it too. Bad Dreams is the first song. I think
That
you're
might
right.
be
I think
it.
it's Bad Dreams. Yeah.
Talk to me like a baby. Yeah, I think that's No Bad Dreams.
Yeah.
And that album's never been reissued on CD, has it? No.
Nope.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I have the vinyl.
I have the vinyl. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
recently listened to it. It's and actually
guys hear that?
better than I thought it was going to. It's a good album.
I just played it, but you guys couldn't hear it, I'm sure.
All right. Well, we are moving now to 1984. Rush. Debbie Harry reunites with Giorgio Moroder. What movie was this from?
Scarface.
Scarface. It was later made popular in a video game, correct? Because I was at my job at Busch Gardens and everyone was like singing Rush. I'm like, why do you guys know this? Like this song of all songs? Because I didn't know. This song totally slipped by my radar when I was a kid. I was a big Debbie fan. I knew about Feel the Spin, but for some reason I didn't know about Rush Rush till like the 2000s. Great song. What do you guys think of this one?
I think it's very 80s. There's a lot going on in it, but she's got these effortless, laid back vocals that I think really sell it. And I think it's a shame that, Giorgio Moroder reused the opening for Berlin's No More Words.
I was
the next
pissed.
year, he's like, just totally recycled that.
Yeah.
I've always thought that.
I feel like 1980s Giorgio Moroder is kind of interesting, like where he went after the 70s, because I'm a huge Donna Summer fan, and she has that last album she did with him, I'm a Rainbow. I don't know if anyone ever heard it, but I feel like he kind of like hit a dead end a little bit in this era.
That song has a very, very nice 12-inch single. Beautiful picture of Debbie on the.
Yeah, I got it.
The first two.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember
yeah.
that song when that song first came out. I had spoken about this radio station out on Long Island called WLIR, which is a really good documentary on them called Dare to Be Different, and Debbie's in it. But they used to have a weekly call-in show where you would call in for your favorite new song of the week. And I remember the week Rush Rush came out, everyone was like calling up. And I remember it was between Rush Rush and a Billy Idol song. I think it was Eyes Without a Face.
Right.
And the two of them all night. Billy Idol's number one. Debbie Harry's number one. Billy Idol's number one. And I remember at the last minute, Debbie Harry called up the radio station.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you had like an impromptu interview with them. Now, this was what, 84 or late 83?
80,
Something. So, like, not a lot was going on. And I even think Chris might have even gotten on the phone. And at that point, we still thought Chris was in and out of the hospital and everything.
Right.
This was supposed to be like a big comeback for her. So I just remember, like, for me, as whatever I was in high school or ninth grade or whatever, this was like huge for me. This was like supposed to be like her big comeback. So I played this song insistently. I loved this song. And but it's true. It's almost like the polar opposite of Call Me, in regards to their Giorgio Moroder thing, because the vocal is so laid back and, kind of sleepy. And I think it's a great song, fun lyrics. Yeah. And I wish it were a bigger song.
Does anyone know what video game it was part of?
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto, okay. Why do you feel like it wasn't a bigger hit? Do you think the Moroder sound was just kind of like, well, was No More Words, so No More Words came out after this?
Yes.
Okay, and that was a big hit for Berlin.
Right.
Yeah.
He was also working with Irene Cara at the same time, and she had that song Breakdance that also sounded very similar
Right.
to this too. And that actually hit the top 40, I believe. But yeah, that's it. I don't know. I mean, it's a great song. I don't know why it didn't get.
It didn't have a video. That could be part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't have a real video.
Yeah, it's all movie.
No More
clips.
Words had a really elaborate video.
Right, where they're riding in the truck. Irene Cara passed away as a recluse in Largo, Florida, and I found her house the day afterwards and drove by because it's like 40 minutes from where I live. So if you guys ever visit Florida, I'll take in all the Jeremy tour spots.
Yeah, I'd like to go see that. I really liked her.
Yep, and I just found out Debbie
I do
Deb
too.
lives 45 minutes from me in another direction. So
Debbie
Oh, wow.
Dad.
I know. All right, we are now moving to 1987. There's two things listed here. Are they the same thing? We have Mind Over Matter, recorded for this film Summer School, then Mind Over Matter, Stock Aitken Waterman demo. Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think essentially, yeah. I don't know
So
if any difference.
was this ever officially released, or is it just something that leaked that people love?
I don't believe it was ever officially released by Debbie. It was released by E.G. Daly. He's the one who actually did the single. I think that there was again another record company issue where they wouldn't let her do this song because it wasn't on their label. So that's how E.G. Daly got it.
Okay.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It is.
I remember the first time I heard it on Rodney on the Rock. I heard Mind Over Matter, and it was before the E.G. Daily one was even released. And I was like stoked, thinking, okay, because at the time that would have been a hit. It would have been another hit for her. And I was, I was still pissed about Rush Rush, so I was really excited for it to come out. And I like E.G. Daily. She's got, kind of a cool growly voice, but Debbie Harry's version is better. It's better.
I agree.
Yeah.
Great vocal performance.
Yes. I love when she soars her voice.
Yeah, I like that song. That was a good song. One of my friends actually has the master tape of that, and there's a belief that it was actually stolen from someone, and it's a very complicated story, and hopefully it'll see the light of day one day, but who knows?
I feel it's looked at as like a missed opportunity.
Yes. Especially since she kind of dropped the ball in the 80s, or the industry dropped the ball on her. And like then we have little moments like this that might have made a difference.
Right.
Well, so they had Chris's illness that they were dealing with, and then they also had all the ramifications from their contract with Chrysalis and bankruptcies and the band exploding and things like that. I was listening to an interview Debbie did. I can't remember what it was, but I've been listening to a lot of interviews today by her because it's in honor of her birthday. And one of the things she stated was that they were broke. They had to declare bankruptcy. They couldn't use credit cards. They had to buy everything in cash for a few years until all this could get straightened out. And that had a lot to do with her just kind of going to the underground, so to say, for several years.
And there was no better evidence than the lack of picture sleeves. Like Rush Rush comes out and it's a 1979 picture on the picture sleeve of a 1983 record.
Right.
And then Feel the Spin comes out and there's no picture.
No picture.
And you're like, what's going on? This is Debbie Harry. There's no picture.
Yeah.
And I think it was just indicative of like, it was probably all she could do just to record the song, and it took her a few years to get herself back together.
Right.
I remember not seeing her in print in magazines for a couple of years until Spin put her on the cover in '85. And Chris was still heavy from the steroids and she was still heavy. And it was the first time we really saw her since like '82, basically. So that's a big window of disappearance,
Yeah.
That was a
I
good
was so
article.
excited to see her on the Spin cover too, because it was a really big window,
Yeah. Yeah, I think Cream put her in 1983. Like that might have been the only press I remember seeing from that year. And then she just dropped out. So it was so nice when she came back.
Yeah.
Well, looking at my list here, I did flip the years because I had Feel the Spin, 1987. Of course, I know it's 1985, Crush Groove. Of course, Feel the Spin was before Rockbird. I remember, now that's when I first heard Debbie again for the first time since The Hunter, I guess, because Rush Rush didn't cross my radar when I was a kid. Produced by Jelly Bean, right? That did, of course, the Madonna stuff. Crush Groove, I loved that soundtrack. I was a big Sheila E. fan. I love that song Holly Rock that was on there. She did it at the New Year's Eve celebration, 1985. So I bought it initially for the Sheila E. song, and then I'm like, oh, there's a Debbie Harry song on here. I loved it. I mean, this definitely wasn't a Blondie song. This is Debbie solo in a 80s freestyle kind of moment. I do wonder, like, had there been more image around it, like a good music video, a picture sleeve, because I feel like for as big of a deal as it was for me to have a new Debbie Harry song, there wasn't a lot of hoopla around it. But I still like the song as a product of the times. Jelly Bean, I bought his album. What is it? What Up Ski? Because it has Sidewalk Talk with Madonna.
Which that reminds me of this song a lot.
Yep.
Really.
Yep.
I love Sidewalk Talk.
Yeah, I do too. What are your guys' thoughts on Feel the Spin? Was it a big deal for you when it came out?
It's a big deal for
It
me.
was for me. Yeah.
I
Yeah, it
was
was for
happy
me
just to
too.
hear her, with a modern beat or something, like a contemporary, song that had her vocals on it. Because at that point, it just felt like it had been forever since we had heard anything. Um, I thought it kind of sounded like what was that DeBarge song, "Rhythm of the Night"?
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of had like that Latin-y kind of feel to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Didn't necessarily associate with Debbie, but I was just really happy that we had some product or something that that we could listen to or that could possibly get on the radio. And she was slowly coming back at this point. I can remember her. She showed up at the second annual MTV Awards, and I remember they had a little close up of her, and I nearly like shit myself. I was so and and it was like and stuff. I remember Rolling Stone did a couple of like little random notes. Debbie Harry showed up here, and then she did that Warhol Apple event. That was a big press event where he took her picture with the first Apple computer or something.
Yeah, that was for the Amiga, for
The
the
Amiga,
Commodore
yeah, I'm
Amiga.
sorry, the Amiga, yeah, yeah, and we were slowly starting to hear it. So that was for that moment, it was fun, but "Feel the Spin" isn't particularly one of my favorite songs of hers. I find it not up to snuff with what she can do vocally and artistically. It was a pop song for
Yeah,
me.
there's no real depth to it.
Yeah.
It's just a fun throwaway little pop song. But I love that it was sampled Uno, Dos, Tres, Cuatro by S Express
Hmm.
for their song theme from S. But so it's just fun to hear, and I've heard it pop up in other samples.
I think
Well.
for me, like I love a lot of 80s freestyle, but for me what made freestyle work is they had like these 14-year-old, 15-year-old girls that were just maybe didn't have the best voices, but were so earnest in their delivery, like your Lisa's Company B, expose, and that's not what Debbie was bringing to the table. That like youthful not naivete, whatever the word. So maybe that wasn't the best setting for a Debbie Harry song, but it was exciting at the time.
It was.
All
It
right.
really seemed kind of out of place for the soundtrack itself, because if I remember right, I don't have it right in front of me, but she's the only like pop rock artist on the soundtrack other than Sheila E. She had Glamorous Life by that point, but
Right.
all the other artists are kind of hip hoppy ish,
Mhm.
R&B ish type artists,
Yeah,
which
there was Shaka Khan, Force MDs, Fat Boys,
and then Debbie Harry.
then
It's
Debbie
just
Harry. Yeah.
it's but that's her. I mean, that's she shows up in very unusual ways, and 85% of me thinks that's on purpose by her, because it
Yeah.
just kind of keeps her out there. So
All right. Well, we are now skipping to 1988, another soundtrack song. Married to the Mob was the movie, correct? Liar, Liar. I remember the first time I heard it, like I thought it was so fucking annoying. I hate to say it. I'm like, oh my God, this song's annoying. Still don't love
Why?
it. I just,
The production overproduced?
yeah, just I just thought it. I feel like Debbie's very cool, and I just thought it wasn't like a cool song, especially like in 1988. Like, or what? This was in '88, so like, what were we listening to in '88? You Can Dance, uh, Tiffany and Debbie Gibson. That's what I was listening to. So like, I don't know. It just seemed like a not cool song at the time. Wasn't
Like
that
an
when?
oldie, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that like Paula Abdul? That had like 6 singles on it at the time. Jodie Watley was hot. Janet was between Control and Rhythm Nation. So here comes this song. And I'm like, it definitely did not make a case for Debbie falling in with the contemporaries of the time, which maybe she didn't give a fuck. So, but what do you
Had
guys
her
think?
back with Mike Chapman.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to rain on this parade. Does somebody here love this song and tell me to shut up?
I actually do. I love it. I love it. I was
I
happy
like
with
it
it.
too.
Mike Chapman was back and we got a video. This was during the era where it was, like scarce new recordings of Debbie. So I think this one rocks. And I think there's an extended version. There might have been a 12-inch to it too, and I kind of want it.
There is, and it's got a an extended version, and I believe an instrumental extended version.
It has
What
a
else?
verse, doesn't it?
Yes.
Sorry, Mark.
Yeah.
Verse in it. Yeah.
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 Yep.
I love this song. I
love it.
I remember when it first came. First time I heard it was when she did this. She did this benefit, and it was the first time I saw her live. So but it was like a year before this song came out. But she was trying out a new band which was called Tiger Bomb, and it was her and Chris and this other band, and they did a very very progressive, loud, very very raw kind of set. And she did stuff like the Dead Kennedys in her set.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, and she did some classic Blondie stuff. But one of the songs that she was showcasing was "Liar, Liar." So when I heard the single, it reminded me of that moment, which was obviously very special for me because it was my first time seeing her. I remember I had the flu, I was running a fever, and I insisted on going. I got on the train from Long Island to make this show. It was a very cool show. So I have a lot of fond memories to it, and I think it was fun. It was going more in the direction that I like her to go, and wasn't quite there yet, but it was more of the direction that I like her going.
Yeah.
Where it's more rock and roll, kind of fun. So,
All right. Any other thoughts on Liar Liar?
Trivia.
Yeah, that show you're talking about, that was December 16th, 1987. That was the first time I ever went to New York City. And I wrote about that show in the first issue of the fanzine that I did, Fan Mail.
Cool.
wow, we could have had Indian food that night, Barry.
All right. So we are now moving to.
No, I have my trivia.
Okay,
Really
go ahead.
quickly. Debbie has 4 songs with titles that repeat a word. Jump, Jump from Cuckoo, Rush, Rush,
Rush.
Liar, Liar, New York, New York.
Okay.
So that's just a trivia question, like a trivia.
All right. Next we have Injust Spring with Joe McGinty and John Cage. I don't know this one.
No, unlistenable.
Okay. Unlistenable.
It's atonal. It's just. It's no.
Is that what we call? Me and my friends have a joke that there's like art, then there's like art.
I think they were trying
Is this song
for art,
art?
but I just find it annoying.
Well, that's art. Well, all right. Any other thoughts on Injust Spring? Next week,
My notes say that it sounds like it could be a parody. So I think I'm in agreement. Yeah. It says monotone poetry more than singing, very arty, could almost be parody.
I think they were joking when they recorded it.
we hope
Yeah,
they were
could have
right.
been done with.
Right.
All right. Well, next we move to a Deaf Dumb and
Oh,
Blind.
and by the way, isn't this from John Cale, not John Cage? And isn't John
Oh, is it
Cage
John
the,
Cale?
the lawyer in Ally McBeal?
Oh, really?
I think it's John Cale.
John Cale. All right. I'll correct the list. All right. We are now moving on to a Deaf, Dumb, and Blonde outtake from 1989. Close Your Eyes. Do we feel like this should have been on the album? Was this a missed opportunity? What are your thoughts on Close Your Eyes? Nope.
I'm glad they left it off.
Yeah.
It's anything Debbie does is going to be good in my mind. It doesn't matter. I mean, she could get up and sing the word shit for 5 minutes, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's the best song ever." But this song here, yeah, I'm glad they left it.
It wouldn't have done anything for the album, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know
don't
if
dislike it.
fit in the album,
Is this-
but I definitely like that song. And they were doing it live at the tour in England in '93 and then in the US in '94. I thought it was really great.
Yeah,
Is
I
this the
saw
Thompson
like
Twins song?
videos live. It live. It's really good.
Did someone ask, is it a Thompson Twin song? Did Alana and Tom write it?
Sorry.
They helped her write, some of the songs on this album, and I think this was one of them.
Okay. It's too bad with that reissue they just did. It would have been a nice opportunity to put it out there officially.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that. Put like outtakes and
Yeah.
like an expanded edition. That's crazy.
All right. So next is Invocation to Papa Legba.
The voodoo song,
Yeah.
Haitian. It's in
very
Haitian.
Chris.
I mean, if you're doing some kind of ritualistic practice to summon demons, I guess this is the right song to play.
If you use voodoo to clean your house, you'll want
This
this
is
in the
it.
background.
Right. This is what you'd play.
Yes.
But not essential listening for those listening to.
No, not at all. I believe this was the song during the Deaf, Dumb, and Blonde tour that they were playing as they entered the stage. I was like, I believe that this was the song.
Yes, it was.
As the musicians came on stage.
Oh,
Good memory.
Yeah, that's the only reason why we need to listen to it.
we now move on to 1992. This was another song from a movie, right? Prelude to a Kiss. I have the CD single. This is kind of like a slower, jazzy one, right? I thought it was pretty.
Love it. 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 This is another song that just proves what I said in a previous chat that we did, that Debbie needs to do an album of songs like this, where there's slower, there's some orchestration behind it. I mean, think of songs like Follow Me and Sound Asleep and Bright Side, and I know some of you guys don't like this, but Cal Marie, and
Love that one.
yeah.
Well,
I mean,
what
this
is that
this
genre?
song-
It's a great song.
What is that genre called? Is it lounge music? Is it torch songs? Like what is this genre wise? What would you call it?
I don't know, Barry. What do you think?
I'm not very good at that.
Like,
Really? It's like a standard.
like jazz, adult,
Oh,
contemporary.
Like standards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. She sounds lovely on it. It's a great suit. I believe who's the producer on that album? I can't his name is evading me right now. But Howard Shore, I believe, was the producer.
That's
on,
right.
He used
You're
to
right.
work on
Very
SNL, and they met during when she was hosting SNL, I believe. And he had recommended her to the Jazz Passengers, and that's how she got hooked up with them.
Oh.
But I like
Looking for
this.
guest vocalist.
But I love this orchestration for her.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think her vocals are just sublime. And this is like literally sung to perfection right here.
Yeah, it is pretty.
When the orchestration swells to that climax,
Yes.
towards the end, and she comes jumping in, oh my gosh, shivers. I mean, every time I've listened to that song 1,000 billion times, and every time it gets to that point, it's like I get the same reaction every single time.
When it swells, like when she says with the Gershwin, yeah, right? That's like, I live for that part of the song. It like totally goes to an apex at that point.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Oops.
All right. Any other thoughts on Prelude to a Kiss? All right. We are now moving on to another oldie. Now, I feel like I shit all over Liar Liar. I actually love this version of Summertime Blues. I spent like $80 for like the CD single version from Australia. Because I'm like, I just had to have it for the collection. It's like like this paper cardboard sleeve bullshit.
Yeah, that was hard to get.
But I have it. And
I have it too.
yep.
Me too.
But I listen like
I have to have everything too. And now I'm going through it with my recollection of vinyl. It's like, it's getting expensive.
yeah. I thought this was a lot of fun. I listened to this version a lot. It's kind of like a little bit of that like early 90s hollow like production poppy, but I feel like it works for me. It kind of works
And
for
we
me.
got a fun video. Yeah.
It works for me the same way that Nina Hagen's In Ecstasy album works for me, which is like a weird reference, but it's like it's like the song's like 2 minutes long, right? This version, I just listened to it over and over and over when I got the CD single.
There's something when Debbie does music that was written in the 60s that she must have listened to when she was growing up. I feel like there's something that her voice locks into in identification with that. As much as she says she hates nostalgia, I feel like there's something you can feel when she sings music from that era. Her voice just works with that era, you know. And she is
Look,
very modern and contemporary too. But I think,
look at,
don't
I'm
you
sorry.
agree?
I did consider please please me, the Beatles remake that was a bonus track on.
Really fun.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
fun.
I mean, same. It totally proves your point there, Scott.
And their breakout hit was Denise, you know.
Right.
It's like, and the whole first album sounds like it could have been from the 60s. I mean, she's really good at it.
I think my issue with Liar Liar more it's not Debbie or her performance. I just think the song itself, like even the original is like annoying. So
The original's weird, yeah.
So Summertime Blues, the original not one of my favorites. For some reason Debbie brought the song to life for me. Like, it was just the right mix of camp and 90s. It really did it for me. It was worth the $80.
She did really sound good at that time, those years, all through the 90s, really.
And Lord knows she sounded more alive on that song than Parts of Deprivation.
Oh no. I even like the voiceovers in it. It's just it's fun.
All right, so
Yeah.
now we're moving into a bunch of stuff I don't know. So the experts here, Don't Cross My Mind, Die Hot. Is that right? 1992.
It's
Thoughts?
a different Debbie.
That's a German word. It would be die hot.
Die Hot. Okay. What happens with this song? What to someone that's not familiar? What is it?
It's really kind of hard and easy. It really is. And Jimmy's right. It's a totally different Debbie. But Jimmy, doesn't it remind you a little bit of No Talking Just Head?
In a way watered down version. I can see where you're
Yeah.
going with that. But
Yeah.
for me, I mean, they're trying to go for this punk metal kind of sound. Is what they're
Yeah.
going for. And so it was fun hearing Debbie kind of try it out in a way. But it's just, for me, it was just interesting at the time to hear her tackle this kind of material.
All right. Any other thoughts on this one?
Yeah, okay. I have a thought because this is one of the ones that I actually wasn't aware of, so I listened to it, for the podcast. And my thoughts were reminded me of what Mark said a couple of times, I think, that she approaches songs as an actress. And to me, she's really angry in it. And I think she totally pulls it off. So I enjoyed it. But it's probably not gonna, be a recurring song that I go back to.
Right.
It's in the rock genre, though, at least, which a lot of her solo stuff is not,
True.
So it's kind of nice for a change to hear like sort of that chunky guitar and
I thought it was nice for a band to invite her to sing on their album. It was nice. And so I thought that was nice that she was getting out there to a different generation, kind of.
Yeah.
And I've always thought she does the best oohs, like oohs, and she's got some serious oohs that go way high in this one.
Oh, like
yeah,
Mariah
that's
Carey
true.
high.
All right. Well, we are now moving on to 1993, Moroccan Rock, Pipe of Pain. No
I didn't
comment?
like it.
No one likes it?
I know of it, but I don't remember it.
It's monotony.
Yeah.
That was my note. It's monotonous.
Unnecessary noise.
Yeah.
Art. Is it art again? All right.
Not
well,
memorable.
we now move to 1995, Winner Takes All, the Fujimaro, I'm not going to pronounce this word, theme song. Does anybody want to take a stab at Fujimaro Jigo Kuhen theme song? Any thoughts on this one?
Like it's like a drum and bass track, which I'm not a big fan of that style of music. And the song is so bad that I don't think anybody could save it, to be honest. I just think it's a really bad song.
So there's no winners to take anything on that one.
No.
Right.
Well, the winner, apparently the winner took it all and left.
Yeah, Jimmy, every song that's bad, I'm going to need you to do a one-liner. Okay.
I think somebody took the song and left because I've never even heard of that one. I don't think I've ever heard it.
Barry,
It's
you
the
have
opening.
I know that was
Isn't it
one I
the opening
never
for a
heard.
video game? Is it one of those songs that was the opening for a video game?
Oh, maybe.
That's what I read on YouTube.
Well, moving on to 1995, Strawberry Fields Forever, Los Fabulosos Cadillacs. Is this a Beatles cover, obviously? Do we like it or no?
Her
Yeah, it's a good
performance is
song.
nice on it. Yeah, her performance is really nice. Her voice, when her voice relaxes and gets into that sweet spot, and it's definitely in that sweet spot on this one. It seems effortless, and it's just a fun little kind of like Latin take on Strawberry Fields Forever, and it was a lot of fun to like discover that. I remember, and there's a really cute video to it, and I enjoyed this one a lot.
Cool. Any other thoughts on this one?
I think you
Yeah, I
said
think
it all.
it's a song that could be
I've
very
never seen it.
divisive just because it strays from the original. But I enjoyed that they did something different and flipped it. So I appreciated that they didn't do a cover, a straight up cover of it.
Okay.
But it did make me want her to do a straight up cover of it slow, like when it gets slower and it loses that really, fast reggae thing. Yeah. I'm just repeating what Mark was saying.
Yeah, because the verses are slow, and then the chorus is like ska almost, and like the rhythm changes and gets fast. But yeah, the verses are the best part.
All right. Any other thoughts on this? All right. We are now moving to No Talking, Just Head, The Heads, 1996. So this was already referenced earlier. Was this kind of a more rock thing from Debbie?
Yeah. I think, well, I mean, for me, this song is, I love everything about this song. So I love the lyrics. I love her delivery. I love the aggressive feel of it. It's almost like Grace Jones's Demolition Man.
Okay.
But not quite she doesn't quite take it where Grace goes, but it's got that aggressive feel and that, the grit to it. So I personally love it.
All right. Further thoughts on this one?
It's another one where she, it's kind of like Don't Cross My Mind. She's kind of angry in this song, and you hear tones of it in her voice too, yeah, but otherwise I agree with Jimmy on everything. I mean, I think it's a very interesting, good track.
Okay. Further
Do you
thoughts?
guys know the story? Do you guys know the story behind that? It's from this was a song she did with a group called The Heads, and basically it was all the members of the Talking Heads minus David Byrne.
Okay.
And they couldn't use the Talking Heads to do this album because David Byrne wasn't on it. So they just said The Heads. But I think there was a lot of strife between them and David Byrne at the time. And I think
He sued him. Yeah, I read today. He sued him.
Yeah, there was a
I
lot.
think this might have been a little bit of a backhanded slap with David Byrne with this album, but he does another song on here. A few other girls, Jeanette Knuckle,
Punk Lolita.
Punk Lolita, which is a great song too. So.
I remember liking the Maria McKee song too. I thought that one rocked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a fun little album. Yeah,
It was good.
Yeah.
They did a special performance in New York with all the vocalists for that. That was a
Oh,
lot.
did?
I missed that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
they
they
filmed
did
it and
that.
it never got released.
Damn.
I know.
New
but,
York gets everything.
it was there.
LA
yeah.
gets a lot, but New York gets everything.
But yeah, that was very cool. I like the song a lot. It reminds me a lot of Dog Star Girl. I think of like that kind of crunching, kind
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
futuristic kind of. And actually, this was like I think it was the theme song to like a Denzel Washington movie,
Virtuosity.
Yeah.
sci-fi
Yeah.
film. Yeah,
Yeah.
they used it
And
as
it was when there were Rare Debbie, so I had to get the soundtrack because it came out before It came out before the Heads album.
Yep.
I did the same.
All right. Well, we now move to 1997. Command and Obey with Groove Thing. What'd you guys think of this one?
I think it's
Fun.
better served in the remixes. Plasmic Honey did a remix of it, which was perfect for the clubs and might be my favorite Debbie club song.
Okay.
But because it's nothing like this version though. But it was played heavily in the clubs at the time.
Yeah, I feel like I have a couple
I think
CDs.
it was
heard it.
released around
I heard it.
99. I think that is when that happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
I first heard it in a bar.
Yeah, it was very big in the clubs. I remember the first time I heard that, and I believe it was created. It was a side project from I believe the percussionist from the Jazz Passengers or the xylophonist or something. But it was a bunch of them, and they had Debbie do it. And yeah, I remember hearing it in the clubs. It was a lot of fun in the clubs. A lot
Yeah.
of and yeah, and I
Yep.
and I do agree. Some of the remixes are better suited than the original. Although I do enjoy the original too. It was a fun little diversion.
I love the "Cause You're My Baby," so command and obey me. That's for
Yeah, I feel like there's a couple different CD singles of this, right? A couple different remixes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're moving to 97. More. Eli Janney remix is what is listed here. Is that a cover of the 70s song?
Well, it's a few words of a cover of the song. I mean, I think it's hilarious that they took what they did from the movie and then tried to make it into a song.
No.
You know, it's like, why just didn't we get Debbie to do an entire song of this, which would have been great. I would have loved it.
I love Six Ways to Sunday. I went to the theater to see it.
Yeah, I
I
did
liked
too.
So did they
I went to the theater to see Heavy too.
I did too.
lift dialogue from a movie and make a song out of it? Is
Yeah.
that what happened here? Okay. So was it an unofficial release or was it official?
It was
It was
on
official.
It's on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like 7 minutes long or something like that.
I'll be honest, that was never one of my favorite disco songs in its even original incarnation.
Me neither.
In the
She's
movie,
in that movie. Now I'm thinking about
yeah,
it.
in the movie, she's like a lounge singer when she's singing that song, and it's like a real easy, I think a Saturday Night Live skit lounge singer. That's what this was when she was singing it with her husband at the time, I guess. In the movie. So,
I mean, Donna Summer is probably in my top 10 favorite of all time. So anything else like outside of Donna's in the disco era, like nothing compares for me. As a huge Donna
She
fan.
eclipsed everything.
Yep. Definitely the queen of the night. All right. Ghost Riders in the Sky. That was when like the mashup started becoming popular. And this was it or no, I'm thinking of what is this? Is this the mashup? Or am I-
Rapture Riders is what you're thinking of.
No, she did do a cover of Ghost Riders in the Sky, right?
Yep, you're
Yeah.
right. I'm thinking of Ghost.
Okay,
That-
but
this.
It was
Jeremy, you're
or
thinking
the-
of Rapture
a
Riders
movie.
with the Doors.
Okay, so Ghost Riders in the Sky. What did you guys think of this one?
It's like an electro spaghetti western.
Mhm.
Wasn't that what Atomic was?
Yeah.
the
Well,
spaghetti song.
No, Atomic was classic.
Part 2.
well,
This is
yeah,
not.
this is no atomic. This is no
This is
atomic.
not
but
Atomic.
The arrangement
That-
sort
he
of
was
kills
making a
it.
joke though.
You know.
All right.
I would have liked it with a more conventional arrangement. It's got this sort of Casio keyboard sounding music. And it's not that kind of song, so I don't really know who thought that mashup was gonna work.
Because sometimes that lo-fi thing can work, but it has to be done right for it to work.
And her vocals are fine. She does a good job singing it. The arrangement killed it for me.
All right. Well, we are still in 1998. The Only Way.
Speaking of killing it,
It's a
Murdering.
song, too. It kind of scares me to listen to this song.
Well, why is this not the only way to listen to music?
Okay, wait.
First of all,
you
it's the
guys,
love
come
song
on.
from Chainsaw Massacre.
which makes it. I should love that. I mean, that's like right up my alley. I should love it, but I just hate it so much. It's like it may be the worst Debbie song for me that there is.
But she says from dick to dick and day to day.
Yeah, but
You
I
know, the
find
devil's
it
dick is hard to
unlistenable.
handle. Yeah,
Was
no,
this
it's
the
not
Robbie
good. It's not
Jacks
good, Jeremy.
track?
If you don't know it, it's not good.
Ignorance is bliss. Well, I think we should move on. Weird Nightmare, Andy Summers.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the Jazz Passenger song, but Andy Summers is just so talented, and you know, he really, I think his instrumentation really helped bring out, you know, Debbie's vocals. But it's a
Her
great song.
vocals is so seductive. The full vocal, it's just full voice vocals, and just very seductive delivery.
So Andy Summers from The Police, correct?
Yes.
And this was one of his solo projects, and she did a song with him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a piece almost like it was like almost like a story piece, and it was like all these different characters, and her delivery is it's smoky and it's rich and it's weathered and it's just oh my God, it almost paints like a visual. It's really good. It's so many of these other songs she sounds like a voice for hire or a singer for hire, and in this one she was in it, like she invested in it. This is good.
Well, it's interesting because you look at the year '99. This is when No Exit had hit its stride. So maybe the confidence in the vocals are reflective of how she was feeling at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the only way must have been before Maria got back on the charts. All right, 1999. So We Danced Again.
Very cabaret.
Very cabaret.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like an old cabaret song or something.
Isn't it sort of like those were the days, my friend? Is it like that kind of song?
Yes, that kind of
song.
I think of something drunk people would sing in a bar, with like an accordion or something, and going back and forth like this,
Yeah.
The Gypsy Caravan.
Yeah. Some of them losing balance, spilling their beer.
All right. Well, now we move to 2001. You'll Come to Me. She was working on the Curse of Blondie at the time when this came out. Any thoughts on this song?
Is that the Amicord one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wrote down it's like her saying anything you can do, I can do better. It's like she can sing anything. I think this is beautiful.
Yeah, I like the jazz vocals.
Yeah,
that she uses.
Yeah, it's really, really good. The two songs that she does on this compilation are really good. There was a little. I remember there was like a little documentary on the making of it because Craig Leon pulled her into this, and he wanted to do a full album of jazz music with her after doing No Exit because he thought she was so great, but he was never able to get the backing for it. But he pulled her into this, and I think her performances are really, really good on this. And
good,
so beautiful.
Absolutely.
To the point where when I played it for other people, they said, "Who is this singing?"
Oh,
Debbie Harry.
Yeah.
No, it's not, because it's just so rich and it's so amazing.
I had the same experience.
Mm-hmm.
People said that she should have been a jazz singer.
Is the other song "You'll Come to Me"? Is that from the same project?
When Love Comes By and You'll Come to Me, Amicord, right? Is that
When Love Comes By? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
When Love Comes By. Okay. So, any other thoughts on these two?
Come on, Jim Caswell, you gotta love it. No.
Oh no, I love those songs, but everybody's already said anything I would have said on it. So, it's great. Both of them are.
All right. Well, 2003, Uncontrollable Love, Blow Up.
Love
I think this is so much fun.
Yes.
It's just fun.
Yeah. I
It's
agree.
one I've returned to, sporadically since it came out. So yeah, I love it.
It
All right.
reminds me a lot of Command and Obey, and they have like a lot of stuff, and they both have little raps in them too, which
Okay.
she actually does. Actually, we didn't mention that, but she actually does pretty competent rap in both of those. So
Yes.
this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the music keeps changing, which saves it from the monotony that a lot of electronic
It's really cool.
music suffers from. For me, that's
Mhm.
sometimes my problem with it. But in this song, it just keeps changing it up. Before you can
It's
get
really
tired of
different
one thing,
breaks.
it's doing something else.
And I love the blow up remix of Good Boys too. So I just think, yeah,
Mhm.
they collaborate well together. It's yeah.
Blow
right.
Up is actually one of the members of Blow Up is somebody that has been around for years in the kind of the disco electronic music scene. I can't think of his name right now. But he and his brother had a band called Man to Man, and she did a song in their album, golly, early '80s, I think it was. And so this band Blow Up is one of those guys from Man to Man that's been around forever. I guess they're friends.
All right. Well, we are now staying in 2003. Stormy Weather. Is it Ill Wind? Is that the name of the song?
Mhm.
All right. Thoughts on this one?
We
This
got a
one is
video.
more Jazz Passengers influenced, I think, than the other orchestrated songs we just heard. You hear those, and then you hear this, and you're like, there's a difference. There's just a difference. And my problem with this one is I don't think that her vocals really match the lyrics of the song of in Stormy Weather. I mean, you hear like Judy Garland sing Stormy Weather, and you're feeling the emotions of, it's just a torch song. And Debbie's is kind of like a little bit sweet and low instead of sugar,
Okay.
It's a little off for her for sure.
Yeah.
I actually like the second. I like Ill Wind better than Stormy Weather. Maybe it's because I don't know it as well as Stormy Weather, but I feel like her, and even when she goes into it, when she eases into that part, I feel like the vocal seems more self-assured, and it's my more favorite part of the song than the Stormy Weather part. I do believe it is the Jazz Passengers playing with her on that.
Where was this from? Was it like on a compilation?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a tribute to Hoagie Carmichael, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. Any other thoughts? 2003 as well. She did a lot of guest stuff this year. Don't you want to know?
No, I don't, Debbie. I don't want to know.
Was this for a kid's album?
It
Like
is,
a
yeah.
child's
Children's album, yes.
It is. And I'm sure children love it. I'm
Yeah.
sure they do.
It's
I
like
played it
Drag
for my
Queen
kid at the
Story
time,
Hour.
and- I played it for my kid, and he was on. He didn't like it. So.
We'll stick with the Rainbow Connection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll take
Just about the
Waltzing
same
Matilda over this.
yeah,
Honestly.
that's a good one. Was this the same time? Not the same time she did that kid song with Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction?
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
maybe
I think it was the same
Patience,
album.
I think it
yeah,
was.
Patience Basanova or something like that.
Mhm.
All right. Well, we now are now skipping ahead to 2006. Don't Be Cruel. Was this a cover of the Elvis song? I'm guessing.
Yep.
What was this from, and did you guys like it?
Otis
It's a
Redding?
tribute.
That was a
it Otis
tribute
Redding?
album, but that
Otis
was in the early
Blackwell.
90s.
Yeah,
I always
think
loved
it's a-
it. Go ahead.
No, this was in the early 90s. This
Okay.
Otis Blackwell tribute thing. So I guess we have the date wrong.
Okay.
I felt like it was like 94 or something like that.
Wasn't this recorded in tandem with Summertime Blues? I thought they were kind of both from the same sessions. No?
I had this on a compilation on a tribute album
Yeah.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too.
that she did, and Chrissy Hine was on it, and I believe the producer, or one of the producers or musicians on it, is Jimmy Destri. Yeah,
It has
You're
a very
right.
similar aesthetic to me. They both have that sort of reverb, retro, stripped down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 1993 was the correct year. So let's fix that on the list. All right.
Oh, you're at the wrong one, Jeremy.
Oh, I sure am. There we go. Any other thoughts on Don't Be Cruel? We are now moving to Moby. New York, New York. I have a few CD singles of this one. What did you guys think of this collaboration?
Love.
Love it.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yes.
One of her
Who said
best.
it wasn't more? Who said it wasn't more popular?
Mhm.
Especially, with it being with Moby. I mean,
Right.
come on.
What year did Southside come out with Gwen Stefani? That was huge. Was that around the same time or a little bit earlier?
Earlier.
Earlier.
Okay.
Another
Yeah,
one
I
that
think there's a
didn't get
great
it
tribute
too.
to New York.
He's fine.
I feel like I ate at Moby's vegetarian restaurant in 2006 and it wasn't that good.
Oh no.
Sorry, Moby. Yeah, this was a good song though. I liked this one.
Yeah, I love this song. I think it's great. I think her performance is great. Her vocals are great. I regret that she's not in the video.
Yeah.
That the only compensation is that Bridget Everett is.
Hmm.
And she's just. But if you've ever seen it, it's like these really bad dancers dancing through New York.
I have seen it.
Tourist, and it's and I just recently rewatched them. Like, is that Bridget Everett? It is. And I'm like, so
And all this bad stuff is happening to them.
yeah, it's
They're getting like mugged and everything.
At the time I hated it.
Oh.
Now I'm like, oh, I guess it's kind of cool now.
Aw.
But yeah, I think
That's a good way to promote New York.
I wish it were a bigger song.
Yeah.
And some of the remixes are really good, especially the bootleg remixes.
Yeah, there are a few different singles of that one, I feel like.
Another one I want on vinyl, and I love the "Just Keep the Diamonds in My Hair" moment. It's kind of like, ooh, what does she mean by that?
Hmm.
Jimmy, do you have the bootleg remixes?
I have like several of
This
Of
one?
them.
This song? Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, and there's one that's my favorite version out of all of them.
You need to come visit so I can get those.
Yes.
Yeah. Or put it in the chat which one it is.
Yeah,
I will do that.
give us a link so we can check it out.
I'll look it up.
Something, yeah.
I'll put it in our chat.
I love that song.
All right, so we're continuing through the 2000s. 2007, Kiss and Don't Tell demo. Was that something that was left off of Necessary Evil?
Hmm.
That would be my guess. Yeah.
Did
Yep.
you guys like it? Do you feel like the album should have had it, or do you think it was a good outtake?
I like it better than some of the stuff on the album, I think. It's kind of fun. It's a fun song.
I think I like it better than the bonus tracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say yes.
better than the bonus
The
track.
Should've been
kissing
there.
noises crack me up.
Yeah. Right. And there's like whispering and there's a lot of it's playful. There's a lot of playfulness to it. A lot of sort of sound effects on the vocals.
Well, the next one on the list is a little bit of a sore spot for me because it's one of the 13 things on my Discogs want list. The promo single will fit right in. It went up for sale at 4 in the freaking morning, and I get like 2 hours of sleep a night, I swear. And someone posted it, and someone bought it, and it could be someone on this podcast. Don't admit it.
And here, no,
Oh,
I
for like
wish.
$4. For $4. And there's this guy on Discogs, like, I'm a creeper. I'll email everyone that owns it and be like, if you ever want to sell it. And this guy's like, I have it. I'll sell it to you. 3 years. Like, he won't go to the post office. He's got it right there. He's like, oh, I'll get to it. So finally, I've given up. There's a copy of that promo single sitting right there. I'm like, I said, I'll give you $100 and it's envelope self-addressed stamped where all you have to do is drop it in there and that's it. No dice. So I almost feel like, I said I almost feel like in Rebellion, I want to skip past this one, but it's fit right in. I think there's like an instrumental on the promo that's unique to the promo. What do you guys think of this song? It's another Necessary Evil outtake.
Oh, you go first. What do you think?
I mean, it's not the best song in the world, but it's kind of fun.
Okay.
I like the chorus.
I'm a completist, so like I want it. I like that it's the same logo. I like when like branding is consistent across releases. So From what I read on Discogs, it's like one of those like where you laser print the label and just stick it on the CDR. Any other thoughts on this song?
I love it. I love it. Every time I listen to it, I kind of want to dance, actually.
Yeah.
It's got a really cool, what did they call that? Like, is it like a half beat or something? I don't know. It's kind of like hip hoppy and electronic.
Yep.
And I like the lyrics. I think I like it.
I like it.
I like it.
I feel like it was like the kind of the end of that era too, like the final release. Then it kind of went back to Blondie with Panic at Girls after that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, 2010, Lucky Jim.
Fun. Rockin'. Sounds like E to the B outtake or something. I thought. It sounds vintage Blondie-ish to me.
Where's it from? Like, what's the context of this one?
It's from the Jeffrey Lee Pierce a homage tribute.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that means he wrote it. I don't know who wrote it. If they wrote it as a homage to him or if it's his song. But
I believe those were all his songs that people that they
Yeah.
went and
Okay.
re-recorded.
Wasn't
Well, I
that
like
song
it.
about Iggy Pop?
What's that?
Wasn't that song about Iggy Pop? I think the Jim they're talking about is Iggy.
Oh,
Could be.
Well, isn't he
that's
lucky?
one I hadn't heard, and actually, because I was listening to the playlist in the car, and this one actually stuck. Like,
Yeah.
I found myself singing it.
I color coded it on my list so I could go back and check it out later.
Now, for the listeners, did somebody make where is this playlist available? Is it on YouTube or?
Yep.
Okay. Is it something that the public can find if they wanted to on someone's profile or anything?
Oh, I don't know.
Couldn't you post it with this video, like in the description?
I mean, I made my playlist off of YouTube. So
Okay.
yeah, I can put it in the chat if you want, Jeremy.
Yeah, I'd love to. That's because I've been
Good
so
one.
busy. I haven't had time to listen to. So I'd love to just like cruise through this and,
She did
kind of.
another one with Nick Cave on the same album, right? I think so.
I believe so. I think
Okay.
you're right.
Does anyone remember what that one was called by chance? Like Madonna would say,
I'll
look
put
it
them
up.
both in because I did find it, so
Okay.
I just can't remember right now.
All right.
Oh, dude,
2000.
I've got a playlist of those songs. Hold on one second. On my iTunes. I'm old school. Sorry.
Oh,
Let's see. Is it? No, it's not that one. Hold on. I will find it. Oh my gosh. Come on, Jim. I've got everything else on this list. What's the
Come
name
on,
of the
Lucky
song?
Jim.
Yeah, what's the name of the song? Into the Fire.
all right. There it is. All right. So we're moving to 2011. We're now in the next decade. Live Alone with Franz Ferdinand. What'd you guys think of this collaboration?
Etchy.
I
I
actually
think it
love
was-
this
he has a-
one.
I
Doesn't she
freaking
do
love
one
it.
where it's kind of like
I
a
don't know which version I added to my playlist. I think it might be some kind of a remix, but this is probably way up there for me. Like, I'm always going to listen to it from now on, it's always going to be a repeat. It's so good.
Yeah, this was one. I had heard it. I heard it many times before, but it was. I guess I never really I kind of slept on it. And as I was re-listening to these songs for this, I came across this one, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I found. I don't know if it was the right timing or whatnot. I really, really love this song, and it really got under my skin, and it's been on my mind a lot. And I like the video too from it too. I thought it was very cute.
Oh, I haven't seen the video.
She's not in it. It's just
Oh, okay.
it's just this
Yeah.
guy. It's just like this guy in New York, and he looks
Yeah,
like
it's-
beat up and sad and stuff. And you see him kind of walking around his apartment, and then he like puts his guy liner on, and then he just starts dancing around the street, and it's just like it's a random guy just dancing through the street to the song, and it's wonderful. It just struck a chord with me. I really really like this.
Yeah.
I'm glad I rediscovered this song.
Yeah. Yeah, like even the doo-doots and He's All Right and everything about it, like all the different parts. I'll put the mix that I put on my playlist in the chat too, because it's a good one.
Cool.
Mhm.
All right. Is there anybody that didn't get a chance to share their thoughts? All right. We're still in 2011. This time, That Place with Elliot Sharp. What'd you guys think of this one?
I
Love.
thought, I thought it was atmospheric and moody.
Mhm.
Had a lot of textures there.
Eerie. It's menacing and eerie, and it's very film noir.
Okay.
Yes.
And it made me wish that she was called upon more to sort of sing on the movie themes sometimes, because it sounds to me like a film noir movie theme,
Mm.
and it's really
It's from a soundtrack.
Yeah, yeah, and it makes me want more. It makes me wish that she would do more of the same, almost like people were saying earlier. Maybe she should just do an album of film noir type or torch songs or standards, just something specialty like that. Give us one album of it
Right.
at some point, just for funsies.
All right. Any other thoughts on this one? All right. We're now 2012. Safety in Numbers. Where is this song from?
Occupy This album from the Occupy Wall Street movement.
Okay. What you guys think of the
99
song?
songs, 99 songs for 99 cents is
Oh.
what my notes say.
And you were charged $1 too much.
That's how much we're charging for pain and suffering. She literally does the whole thing in a robot voice. It's
yeah.
like meh, meh, meh.
It's like electro jazz passengers, kind of.
But she's really turning up the Yoko on this one. Like the art school, like meh, 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 meh. Just I don't know. I was almost angry.
We're like, Yoko. Oh, no.
Oh no.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's move to 2012. Or still in 2012. Do It Yourself, Kinder Angst.
Another kid song
Yeah.
promoting autonomy and self-reliance.
Well, that's nice.
It's cute. It's a cute song. Kids would like it. Maybe. I don't know. Mark, did you play for your kid?
Do you guys remember when she played that old woman in the shoe? I think when was that, in the 80s or early
Shelley
90s?
Duvall.
Oh, Shelley Duvall's Rock and Rhyme.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can almost imagine this on like Sesame Street. Like, like if you move it to that earlier time bracket, I can almost imagine her singing it with Big Bird and Mr. Hooper.
Aw.
The original Sesame Street. It's got that kind of feel to it.
Well,
Definitely daytime kid show sounding song.
the next one, I'm glad it was released in 2014 because I don't think it'd be good to release a song right now called "Kisses for My President." Was this a collaboration with the Amber Lights?
Yes.
What did you guys think of this one?
Loved it. For me, it sounded like another Plastic Letters outtake, like another sort of Detroit Folk 2 almost.
Okay.
Elements of that.
It's a great rock vocal. I love it.
And good chords. It's like sometimes these things lack interesting chord changes and melodies. And this one I felt had strong, like appealing chord changes that stick in your head more.
Shit, I was getting ready to like keep scrolling and like we're getting towards the end of the list. Damn. All right.
Yeah, there's only 4.
Go on.
2017. That was the year of Pollinator, correct? Shadows,
Yes.
Future Islands featuring Debbie Harry. What did you guys think of this one?
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, it's like very new wave, like the new romantic style of new wave.
Yep.
So that's what it reminded me of. So
Is it kind of like
and
Tame
that was a fun
Impala?
time in my life.
Okay.
It sounds like filler, yeah, from a Euro new wave band from the 80s. Like one of the songs on an album that would be pleasant, but not a single.
So like the other songs on Berlin's Love Life, besides No More Words. No, they had like Dancing in Berlin, right? And what was the other single? There were a couple
Yeah.
singles. There were some good songs on that one. Is there anyone on this?
Need to be bro-
Wait, I want to defend Shadows because given that, the lyric, is it the bee sting that honey haunts you? You know what? And I was so excited when I heard that because it was like the pollinator, it was like a reference, the bee sting,
Okay.
like the pollinator same year. And I just love this song. I can't help it. There are a few I didn't speak about, but for me, if her vocal's good, I dig the song.
Okay. Well, I do like the tie-in with Pollinator. That's pretty cool. All right, so now we have T-Ron 1970.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Hold on. So, Jeremy, now since you have dogged Berlin so badly, you need to do a series on their albums.
I listened to Count 3 and Pray, and for that reason alone, I refuse.
Oh my gosh!
Did you ever
All
hear
right.
Berlin's?
Yeah.
Did you ever hear Berlin's version when they did Shayla?
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yes.
love it.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
You know what song I love by Berlin? This is totally, I know we're off topic, but whatever. It's the final one in this series. They came out with an album like in 2001 called like Foreplay, and whatever. There was like this opening track that was so fucking good. I listened to it over and over. I can't remember the name of the song. Does anyone have that album? No, I had to look it up.
Yeah, you should look it up because Berlin, right? Berlin, hello. There was the first time I heard the Metro, I thought she was totally imitating Debbie Harry. Like I was like, wait, what? And then I like the song "Will I Ever Understand You." That's a good song.
The song is called Scream.
But I'm still mad at her or Giorgio for No More Words and him recycling that.
And the hair. Stealing the hair.
Yes, she did.
Hair
That's
theft.
immediately when I thought. That's
She
immediately
was-
what I thought.
She was
So,
happy.
very nice.
The song I love from 2001 is Scream. But remember, not to get into politics on this podcast, but remember how Berlin played Mar-a-Lago's New Year's party the same day as Trader Dane, and everyone was mad for like a few months? All right,
Oh my God.
back to this podcast. All right, Jim, I'm old. Berlin. I feel like they had like the Pleasure Victim is like iconic. Love Life had some good songs. Count 3 and Pray had Taken My Breath Away. Then they had like 6 albums of like new material, right?
I was into them for the
Like-
first two.
Like
that you
Voyeur.
mentioned.
There's like Voyeur, Foreplay. They did like the orchestra album.
The orchestra one's pretty good.
It is good. It is good.
Uh,
And the ones kind of in the 2000s up until recently, I think, were just Terry Nunn. The other 2 members were gone, but
okay.
I know for the tour they did a couple years ago, it was all 3 original members. But now I think it's just 2.
Was it like John Crawford or something? Was his name?
Yeah. He left and became a businessman of some sort, and then he joined back up in the 2020s to tour with them again. I don't know as if there was a new album released at that point, but I don't know if he's playing on that new album.
Well, you cannot argue with the Metro. I mean, you just can't. That's a okay. Tehran 1979. Brian Rizel. Thoughts? Prayers?
Shirley Manson's on this too, isn't she?
Yeah.
Is Barry still here? He wanted to say something about this.
Yes, I'm here. I like that song, and I really, I'm a huge Garbage and Shirley Manson fan. So
Right.
I love the fact that Debbie and Shirley Manson the other track, and I happen to like the song. I think it has a feel sort of like Giorgio Moroder, and someone who commented about "I feel love" kind of
Yeah.
vibe in this song.
Yeah.
Very
Definitely.
much so. Yeah, I love this song. I just wish it had more lyrics.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
you know.
the
this
same
song
thing.
was a
Yeah.
soundtrack, I think, to American Gods, which I don't know what that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Oh
It
yeah,
was a series.
It was a
It's
series.
a series on
I read the book.
I want to say Max.
Wasn't that Neil Gaiman, or whatever his name is?
Is it any good?
I like the book. All right,
Never watched the series, so I don't know.
2021 Mysteries of Life. What's the context of this song?
It's from a movie called Hereafter, and it's the guy who did the Twin Peaks music, did the production, which I feel like it could have used a little bit more Twin Peaks in the production of it. I feel like the production's a little sparse in this song, but because I felt like I should like it better than I do. Not that I dislike it, but
It's almost
Consider-
like ambient music. You know what it reminded me of?
Yeah.
Is David Bowie's Low. Remember side B is all that instrumental ambient stuff. It sounded a little bit like that, but with a voice over it. Instead of like a song, it's just ambience, you know?
Mm. Well, next we go to 2023. IWNSYLY. What is this here? The Dandy Warhols.
Oh yeah.
I will never stop loving you.
Oh, okay.
This
it
is
actually-
a collaboration? This is a collaboration. The lead singer Dandy Warhol actually sings on this. She
Okay.
does kind of a backup part, doesn't she? Anybody
Yeah, but
else
it's-
familiar
I think
with this?
her voice, she sings, he does some spoken
Yeah.
word.
Right.
Okay,
This-
that qualifies.
And there are different versions of it.
No, I didn't know that.
For
The
those
album
seeking this
versions are
out,
different.
oh, I'm sorry. For those seeking it out, it is stylized IWNSLY. Well, not on this list is the more recent collaboration with Andy Bell, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the name of that song?
Heart's a Liar.
And do we like it?
I do. I wish she would be more prominently in it, but there is one mix that I hear her. I feel like I hear her louder in. Anyway, I dig it.
Well, I'm about to shame this podcast panel because we made this beautiful list here, this big, beautiful bill, this big, beautiful
Yeah.
list. And we have a bunch of completists in here, and how dare you guys leave off the iconic 80 for Brady off this list?
Oh my God.
How could we?
Are
Can
we even?
anybody hear her in it?
No.
No.
Okay.
I can hear a little like background vocal or something that's highly like, it's. I think you hear her at the very end where they're like, it's going to be you, and you hear this like tiny little voice go, you, and I think it's her.
Oh my
That's all
God,
she
you
could
had
give.
to search for that. You had to have like dug that out because it's so
Well,
not apparent.
I had to
she's in
listen
that
like
song.
my headphones really loud.
She fulfilled her contractual obligation with
I mean,
that syllable.
Yes.
Let's
Thank
talk about
God.
this.
Thank God she had the smarts to stay out of that piece of shit song.
Let's talk about this. Dolly Parton, Belinda Carlisle,
Love,
Cyndi
love.
Lauper.
Love.
Who else was in it?
And
Gloria
the
Stefan.
Miami Sound Machine, Gloria
Gloria-
Estefan.
Gloria Estefan. I mean, I love all of them, but they meet, and then this is what comes out of it. Can anyone think of a worse collaboration?
Horrible.
It reminds me of the musical Golden Girls. I mean, they musical version of the Golden Girls. When I saw these four together, it's like, all right, yeah, they're all seniors now. They're
I
not really
was so angry her name was even on it.
Yeah.
Is Debbie the gay housekeeper bailed after the first season?
Coco.
Or Coco.
It was like that Fall Out Boy song. I can't hear her on the Fall Out Boy song either.
Is there a reason
West
we?
Coast Smoker, something like that.
Mm.
Why didn't we do the Debbie and Dolly Heart of Glass? Because it was a duet.
Oh,
It's a
Yeah, I mean, there are a ton of
collaboration.
duets that we didn't do.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I think we decided
Yeah.
to stick with just her stuff.
Mhm. Yeah.
is there any notable duets that anyone wants to throw out into the air? Did you like that? I have almost every Dolly album, and I felt like Rockstar was kind of a hot mess.
Yeah. It was uneven. I liked parts of it.
I
I
liked
like the
that
one she did
Dolly
with Joe
picked
Jett.
Stevie and Debbie though to collaborate with. I did like that.
What has rock and roll ever done for you? The outtake from Tango in the Night that Stevie was still mad about like 20 years later, and you're like,
Is that what it was?
yeah, she's like,
I
they
didn't
just
know that.
Fleetwood Mac always picks my witchy songs. I had this interview. She's like, I had this great song. What has rock and roll ever done for you? And they passed on it, and like you hear it all these years later, you're like, there's a reason for that, Stevie. The
What
demo's
about what about Well Did You Ever?
I was
Oh, Iggy
Oh,
Pop.
love that song.
But we love that, right? Is that
You
you?
love that?
Yeah.
From Red Hot and Blue, was that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Such a fun
There's
song.
you guys probably won't know this artist, but there's an artist out of New York called Miss Guy, lead singer of the Toilet Boys, and
Oh yeah, he's on
Um,
or she's on Rave, right?
God Save Me, yeah, and he released kind of like an EP, and actually I don't think this song's on it, but there's another Debbie song on there. But God Save New York,
Mhm.
she does with him, and that's a really great
Yes.
collaboration.
There's a video.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is there? Okay,
there's a video.
but that's a great collaboration.
And
I'm
she's
going to
cool
be-
in the video. She even sings "Dreaming Is Free," right? That song. Yeah.
So,
I'd like to go off track for a second since this is our last one in the series. Which person from 80 for Brady is each corresponding Golden Girl? I say Dolly Sophia. Gloria Estefan is Rose.
You don't think Cyndi Lauper's Rose?
Yeah, maybe Cyndi Lauper's Rose. Who's Blanche?
Belinda Carlisle, that big old slut.
Linda Carlisle's Blanche. Then who's Dorothy?
Have you ever seen
I
the
don't hate
Go-Go's
Belinda
documentary?
Carlisle.
She's a slut.
I love the first podcast in this whole series was Go-Go's Beauty and the Beat with
I
two
saw
people
that.
that were never on this podcast again. So I feel like someday I had to finish like the Go-Go's only had 3 more albums after that.
I would totally do them with you. I loved
Oh, I love the Go-Go's.
even when they regrouped. I thought that was really when they
God
did
Bless
that
the
song,
Go-Go's?
Unforgiven with
That was a
Yeah.
good album.
Yeah, that was really good.
I
And
also
that
do
talk
love
show,
Belinda's. Yeah, talk show. I actually love Belinda solo, even though they keep repackaging her catalog. Like,
she just put out a new song. It's a cover. It popped up
It's
on
the-
like my YouTube, and
It's
The
a
whole
whole
album's
album.
covers.
I feel like
It's
Runner-
all like 70s Southern, 70s guitar rock songs.
by Belinda or different people.
No, Belinda's covering them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she did All I Need Is the Air That I Breathe. That was the
yeah,
single.
that one. Yeah, that's yeah.
I feel like Runaway Horses is a classic album. I love that album.
That is a good album.
All right, so we are wrap. Any other Debbie Harry stray tracks that anyone wants to throw out to the universe before we wrap? We've done it. We've discussed the whole Blondie discography from Ex Offender through the Bends, right? And then we did Debbie Harry solo from Jump Jump through 80 for Brady. So Barry,
that doesn't count.
I know. Oh, that's gonna be us in a few years,
Yeah.
gentlemen.
I do have a final comment. I really wish that the version, I know this is in depth on Blonde, but the version of Bright Side from Wise Guy, I wish that version had been released. I think it was an early version of Bright Side that was
Yeah.
used in the TV show Wise Guy. But I mean, the little snippet of it that you got, it was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to hear more of this song. And then
It was just like, well, there was their piano version, and then there was also a full band,
Mm-hmm.
and they were
I
very
love
different
that
than
she
the
did
album.
that with Tim Curry and who's the guy, the lead guy? He's handsome. I
Ken
like
something.
yeah.
Ken Wall.
Can't remember his name, but
Yes,
Wall.
Ken Wall.
Ken Wall.
She also sang some good stuff in that phone sex movie. She
Video
sang
Girl?
"Take Another Piece of My Heart."
Intimate Stranger.
Yep.
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna eat up my heart
Yeah,
anymore. That
I
one.
Yeah, that was
wish
great.
I wish we would have got the full versions.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, they must exist somewhere.
Great.
Yeah.
I remember when that movie was on, I talked to one of my friends and I said, I couldn't believe she smoked 17 fucking cigarettes in the opening. And he counted how many cigarettes she smoked, and I just happened to guess the right number. I don't know. It was just an expression, but oh my God, she was smoking. But she looked good in that movie. I like that movie.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I go back to it to watch it, I do.
It's a guilty pleasure.
I heard she started
Yeah.
smoking because of the character, or I read that somewhere that's when is that true, Barry?
I think I read that too, but I'm not sure, not firsthand. I don't know.
I think
All
the
right,
other song
thanks.
Scott was. I think the other song Scott was "Piece of My Heart," James Joplin.
Yes.
Take another little piece of my heart now, baby.
She
I
did
think
that and a
was-
Divinal song. Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
I love the Divinals.
Yes.
All right. Well, we are going to end the series.
No.
I
The
know.
Email.
With Barry,
Email.
who brought us all together.
Oh yeah.
So Barry, I emailed you, and the Blondie podcast was kind of struggling, and you you opened up your friend list and brought this all together. So thank you for everything, and thank you all for contributing to these discussions. It's
Wait,
been
Barry's gonna read
so much
something.
fun. I know. Let me do my hosting now. You better calm down, Blanche. You better calm down.
We thought you were getting rid of us.
So anyway, as I was saying, Barry brought us all together in the beginning, so it's only fitting that at the end, Barry shares an email from Debbie Harry herself that was written last night. So Barry,
That was written this morning.
This
actually.
morning.
So, yeah. So thanks everybody for joining the show. I thought this was really great. And anyway, I wanted to let you know that I write Debbie a few times a year, and I always try to write her on her birthday. And and I'm a night owl, so I write her in the middle of the night typically, and she's reads her emails I think early in the morning. But one of the things that I always try to do is to represent all of the great fans and the people who really truly love Blondie and have throughout the years, just like I do. And I'm going to read you a short section of the email that I wrote her last night, and then I'm going to read you her reply. So I wrote, I send you lots of love from me and Stephanie and the many hundreds of friends we have because of your work and inspiration over the years. It may be your birthday, but it is all of us that got the gift. You are a genuine treasure, and I speak for many in saying I am so grateful that you have been a part of my life for so very long. And then I wrote her a little story about my cat catching a moth whose eye glowed in the dark like a red laser pointer. But anyway, so at 8:21 this morning, Debbie replied. She's always so kind and almost always replies to my emails. And she wrote, thanks for thinking of me. As usual, your kindness reaches me at just the right time. I had a shoot yesterday with Rob Roth for the Wild Fang Girls, which went very well, but I haven't seen the photos yet. I will celebrate another year later today and be truly happy to have had it. When it's your turn, let's hope you have the same. XXX love, Deb.
oh,
Yay.
Pretty sweet.
Very nice.
I loved your email to her. That was
yeah.
That's
perfect.
very sweet.
What a treasure to have like an email like that.
And also Scott, like what a treasure to have this body of music to be the soundtrack to all of our lives. I can imagine all of our lives without Debbie Harry and Blondie. And I was like, I feel a little tinge of emotion because my life was so much better because of her
I feel
music.
like I wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And for
No,
me,
I actually agree with you, Barry. I mean, totally. I mean, and Jeremy, it's funny you say soundtrack of my life. actually thinking that same exact thing last night, this morning ish, as I was going through listening to different interviews and stuff with her. And it's like, yeah, every part of my life, there is a Blondie or a Debbie Harry song that will fit into it. I could literally create a soundtrack that is nothing but Blondie and Debbie Harry songs that would span from the first moment I can remember to today. And nobody else would be in it. It would just be totally Blondie and Debbie Harry songs, and it would fit perfectly.
And
Yeah, in a couple of years, it'll be 50 years for me that she's been an integral part of my life. And all of that music is just irreplaceable. I know so many people all over the world, so many great friends, all of you, and hundreds of other people who, are what I consider close friends, and how much that I appreciate all of your loyalty. And once in a while, I get the chance to tell her, and I always try to do that.
For me, there are a lot of favorites in my life. I have my top 10, my top 20, but Debbie was the first. Like the first vinyl I ever got was Best of Blondie. So it all started with this singer. And here we are in 2025. We created hours of content just pouring over every song with love. Sometimes not too much love, depending on the album. But wasn't it so much fun? I almost want to start from the beginning and just do it all over again. But there's so many other artists that we need to cover too. So, any other closing thoughts? I just love you all. You're such great human beings. It's so bittersweet, but I look at my CD collection with 3,000 CDs, and there's so much music to talk about.
One last thought from me. I can't wait for the new Blondie album and us all getting together again. And I am going to watch every single podcast of of all the ones that I didn't make, and I might, maybe even before the show, want to argue with you on some that you may have dissed.
David, I'm so glad you did join, though. I mean, like the CD single I'm looking for, you fit right in. Well, I'm gonna get this up online tonight. Much love to you all, and it's so exciting because a new Blondie album will now come with this group of friends that I can just geek out with it, and we're gonna talk about it for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. It's gonna be great. So until we meet again, I will see you all in the chat. Much love to everybody.
And happy birthday, Debbie.
Happy birthday, Debbie.
Happy birthday, Debbie. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.